Welcome to the Whurthy Events training video series. This is Module 1, the Staff Experience. In this second video, we're going to walk through Book for Customer. We're going to begin with a review of the booking workflow. We'll then look at how to search for and book openings for a customer in Whurthy Events. And then finally, we'll look at how you can manage and update bookings. We're going to start by reviewing the booking workflow. In other words, answering the question, how are event bookings managed in Whurthy? There are two main stages when it comes to the booking workflow. The first stage is that the opening is booked. So for each event, you can have one or many seats. We will be reviewing how to create or set up events in another video. You can click the card in the top right-hand corner of the screen to access that video and watch it at another time. When you book an opening, you have three options. The first option of confirming the booking is always available. When you create an event, you have the option of marking the event as requiring a deposit being paid or requiring that the event is prepaid. When you complete the payment of a deposit or prepaid, if you've configured that for the event, you will then also be confirming the booking. The main point of this particular stage of the workflow is that for each seat or opening in an event, you're going to confirm the booking. So if an event just has one seat, you would book one opening, you would confirm it, and then you would be able to move on and manage the booking. If you have two or more seats for an event or two or more openings, you would confirm each one. Now, at any particular time, though, you can manage bookings, and we're going to be able to take a look at that in the demo in the second half of this video. Also at the bottom there, you'll notice that there is the red line and text indicating that we can cancel a booking. So once a booking has been confirmed, it can be canceled at any point. When we come to managing bookings, whether or not we are managing just one booking that's been made or multiple bookings, we then will have the opportunity to pay for that booking. So when the customer pays us, they may opt to pay and attend at the same time. And this is common, say, if you are delivering some form of service and then receiving payment, or you are taking payment at the door. So in that case, you would mark that the customer's attended, and then Whurthy Events would also track that you've made the payment. When a customer comes in, then you would be taking attendance through the manage booking stage of the workflow. So that really covers how bookings are managed in Whurthy. Now let's take a look. We're going to jump into the staff experience and see how this actually looks. So in the previous video, we looked at how to find customer profiles, search customer profiles, and then be able to navigate to an individual customer's profile. So what I've done is by looking over at the right-hand side, we've got the Whurthy link sidebar. In the second section, it's titled Event Management, and then there is a link for customer profiles in that section. So now I've gone into the demo customer profile. And so we can see here at the top, we have got their contact details. We can see that their email is verified. And then if we scroll down to that next card, we can see bookings. And this is where we now have the ability to click on the book event button. It's showing us next to the button that there are currently no upcoming bookings for this customer. And it's letting us know we can book an event on behalf of this customer by clicking the book event button. Now, just to be clear, we're looking at the staff experience. There will be another video where we look at the customer's experience of booking an event. You'll be able to click on the card in the top right-hand corner of the screen to look at that video and in your own convenience. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and click on the book event button. This now takes me to the page where I can book for this customer. You'll notice in the heading card, it's showing us here, book for demo customer. So that's going to bring through the first and last name that they've entered when they have completed their profile. Here we have the ability to search for events from a date to a date. Within that date search, we can also search by hosts. If there are 2 or more hosts in your organization, then all of those hosts would show. If there's just one host, this by host selection or option or field won't even show. We can also search by room. Now, in this case, just to be clear, the term by host and the term by room, they are actually terms that you get to select or decide upon when your Whurthy Events solution is deployed. So you may have a different name or title that you use for those individuals that provide events, deliver service, or host events, for example. In this case, because we've set this up in the Whurthy Events solution, we're calling our hosts, but that may be presenter, that may be service provider, or whatever label makes sense in your particular context. Its next field by room, exactly the same principle or concept applies when it comes to the label. You may have location, you may have venue. In this case, we happen to have selected room. And then you get to complete your search by selecting the host or the room in a particular date range. Well, that's pretty intuitive. I can click on the calendar by the from field here, and I can put in, I want to search from the 30th of next month through to the following Friday. I can then click on the events button here, and it will show me that there are 5 events between these 2 dates. So that's very similar to the search feature in the previous video when we were searching profiles. So you will notice that when it comes to filtering or searching in Whurthy Events, there's a very similar feel and design language. So it's showing us how many there are. And I've got this clear search button to the right-hand side that will just return me to that default view. With that being said, I'm going to basically book this demo customer into the first available appointment, which happens to be on this coming Monday. So when I look at this particular card, obviously the book event button is really where I want to go to book the event. So I'm going to click on that, and it's now going to show me the event details in that new booking form. So in this first card here under event details, I get to see all of the information related to the details of the event. I also can see here the seats remaining. So when this event was set up, it was set up to have 3 seats. Now, as I indicated, when we were just reviewing how the booking workflow works, we could have 1 seat or many seats. So that's something that we will cover in that event setup video. I can also see here that there are 3 of 3 seats remaining. So as you would expect, as bookings are made, the seats remaining will reduce until then Whurthy indicates and shows me that we have no seats remaining. Looking down, scrolling down, I can see the next card here is contact details. So this is being shown because we are looking at this through the filter or the lens of the staff experience. So if a customer or a potential attendee for an event were phoning in, they had emailed us, they texted us, or they filled out a contact form, and I was going through the process of booking them into this event, this is where I get to validate their name, their email. If they had entered a phone number into their profile, it would also show here. And then it's actually letting us know, please verify the customer's contact information. We also have an additional line here that talks about how a business admin account can go through the admin portal to directly edit customer records or profiles behind the scenes. We will be discussing about the various levels of staff, user account, security permissions in another video. You can click on the card to the top right-hand side of the screen to look at that at your own convenience. But most importantly, in this particular form, the final section is payment details. We can see that the regular event cost of this particular event is $150. So assuming at this point, I would now have the option here of just confirming the booking. So confirming the booking is always a step within that first part of the workflow when we are making the booking. Now, if the event was set up where a deposit was required or prepayment was required, that would actually show here. And the assumption is that you then, from the staff's point of view, would process the payment if prepayment was required or deposit was required with your point of sales or payment system that you've got in-house. Once that's done, you can then click on the confirm booking button. In this case, this event has been set up with no deposit required, no prepayment. So it's just that basic idea that any customer can book for a seat for this event. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the confirm booking button. And so that really takes us through that first step. We can see at the top of the screen now, we've got this green box, and I'm going to refer to this box as a flash message. When you see a flash message in green, that indicates that some activity was conducted inside Whurthy Events. And because it's green, that means that activity was successful. So when we read the text, obviously that makes a lot more sense because it reads, "Dear demo, thank you for your counseling booking on Monday, 30th January 2023 at 10 a.m. Please check your inbox for a confirmation email. Thank you." Now, this is exactly the same message that the customer would see when they book for themselves. And we made the deliberate design decision to leave this script in this way because, for example, if one of the team, one of the staff are on the phone and they are confirming this booking for the customer over the phone, for example, they would literally just be able to read this script out and not have to think about it. It's giving that information that really is important or pertinent for the customer, which in other words is just letting them know, yep, we've got your booking and please check your inbox for the confirmation email. So what has also happened is it's returned us back to the customer profiles page. Now, before I move on to the second part where we manage the bookings, I just want to point out one more thing about the flash message, because in the coming series of Whurthy event training videos, this concept of a flash message is going to come up again and again. And so in this video, we're just taking an extra moment just to explain one more important aspect of how a flash message behaves. The reason why it's called a flash message is that it is flashed in front of the user once, and then when they navigate away, it disappears. What it means is if I click on the customer profiles link here over to the right-hand side in the Whurthy link sidebar in the event management section here, I can click on customer profiles. And when I do that, you'll notice then that flash message has disappeared. That's actually exactly the same page that I was on. In effect, I've just refreshed the web browser. And it's the same as if you click on the refresh button in the browser, that flash message would also disappear. So with the explanation of what flash messages are out of the way, we're going to return to the booking workflow. So now that we've confirmed the booking, we now can manage the bookings. So in order to do that, the most intuitive way to get to the events page and to manage bookings can be found on the right-hand sidebar. We see Whurthy links here under event management. You'll see this link, manage events. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the manage events link, and it's now going to take me to that manage events page. So obviously this is a page that only staff get to see. When we look at this, we can see there's a few important notes here. We're going to dive into this particular page in more detail in other videos. Just to quickly review this page as I move my attention down from the heading card, we can see there's an add event button. So obviously this is where we get to add new events. We get to see that there are currently 11 active events and no completed events listed below. And then we've got a search bar, much like the experience of when we were looking for events through the customer profile. This is exactly the same. I can scroll down now and I can now review each event in turn. So we could scroll down and we can see that here are the 11 events. I'm going to stay at the top because we just went through the process of booking or confirming a booking for this customer, demo customer, right? So when I look at this event, each of these cards contains an event. We can see, first of all, that there is the name of the event. It's letting us know the loyalty level. We can see here this counseling event is available to members, and we can see this new custom consultation is available to guests. We're going to be reviewing the automated loyalty program in another video. You can click on the card in the top right-hand corner. So don't be concerned about following along with that right now. But with this particular event name here, we've got counseling. You'll notice that's also a hyperlink. So you can click on that to go to the event. We're going to be looking at that in another video, so don't worry about that for now. But really what we want to focus on here is this manage bookings button. So it's really quite straightforward to manage bookings for events, because you can click on that button or click on the manage bookings button for any event that you want to manage. So when we look at this here, currently, we've got one booking that's been made for this particular event. We can see here, we've got the name of the event, the details in terms of where it is and when it is. We can see the remaining seats. We can see the summary of paid and attended. And then we get to see in this card, within a card, as it were, we get to see this booking reference, and it's letting us know this date and this time for this event, this customer. That's the reference, and it's letting us know what is owed. So when we want to go ahead and update a booking, then we're just going to be able to click on the update booking. Now, before I do that, I just want to sort of summarize the two main ways or the two main paths that this workflow will follow. The first approach is going to be where a customer pre-books and then they pay when they show up. The other main approach is going to be that they're going to pre-book, they then may pay, and then they may ahead of attending, and then they will attend. So Whurthy Events allows for either approach, remembering, of course, that the actual event payment is covered as a part of the point of sale or payment system that you use within your organization. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and click on the update booking here. So in this case, what this does is this opens up a little form, and we can see here it's showing me the details. If prepayment or deposit was required, that would also show there. It's showing me that it's got a booking status of one book. So that's how Whurthy will track those bookings that have been booked, but there's been no deposit paid or the amount hasn't been paid. And it's also letting me know that they haven't attended. Now, I've got 3 checkboxes that I can fill out here. So the first one is paid total amount due. So if the customer is making the booking and they are paying for it over the phone, then I can check this and save the changes. And then that would mark that it's been prepaid, for example. So in the next box, we can see that we've got attended. Now, if I select attended, Whurthy Events will assume that you have also taken the payment. So checking attended marks the event booking as complete and the booking as paid. And finally, I've got cancel refund. So if I select cancel refund, this will cancel the event booking and adjust the user's profile. And please note that Whurthy assumes that any event deposit previously paid is not refunded. With that being said, what we're going to do here is we're just going to check attended just to work through the rest of that booking workflow. In other words, we're walking through that scenario where the customer phoned in and they confirmed the booking, and then a couple of weeks later, when the event was actually happening, they showed up, you met them at the door, you took the payment, took their credit card, processed it through your credit card system, your point of sale system, and then you came into Whurthy, you marked it as attended, and then you clicked on Save Changes. And so now what you can see here is that it's now marked that we've got the booking status as complete and attended as yes. So that concludes the book for customer review. Whurthy, value made easy.